Yo, thank you for tuning in to the Industry Insider interview here on the 520 Collective Podcast. As always, we are being sponsored by the Bookkeeper 24/7. Go check them out at tbk247.com, where they are promoting everything Christian hip hop and really just, trying to build for the kingdom. So Daryl and the team, they're about the space, and the space needs to be about them and supporting those guys. So make sure you go do that at tbk247.com. And with me right now on the 520 Collective phone line, this man is a best-selling author. He's a speaker, an entrepreneur, and we can officially say a two-time guest here on the 520 Collective Podcast. Joining me right now, it is Mr. Kelly Cole. What's good, sir?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me back, man. It's an honor and a privilege.
Man, no doubt. You I believe we're on season 1 with us, so it's been a minute, and we're always grateful for you for coming on and taking a chance on us when we were just getting out the box. So definitely love that you're back with us.
Of course, man. Of course, bro. It's a pleasure. Like I said, man, I love conversations. I love talking to cool people, especially, my brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we definitely want to jump into all the stuff that's kind of changed for you since the last time we talked, and we're going to do that. But I think, I don't want to miss the opportunity just to see how stuff's going just for you. And I know on the management side with Aaron and everything, how's the music side of life been going for you guys lately? I know the last time you were here, it was pre-pandemic. Just what's these last couple of years been like on that journey?
Yeah, man. So, of course, man, just like everybody else, man, the pandemic was really, really tough, man. Like, I don't even know the count. I was afraid to count up how many events got canceled and, how much, we had to pull back from some things and kind of lay low like everybody else. So getting through the pandemic was tough, but thank God, man, we made it. We didn't have any real casualties as far as Aaron did end up catching it. I caught it, whole family caught it, but everybody's still here. Everybody, returned to full health. So we thank God for that. And, Aaron's career survived. So currently, Aaron's career is great. He just dropped the album, in November. It's doing really great. 2 Up, 2 Down. We did the 2 Up, 2 Down tour. And we're going to be in your area, Springfield, this coming up week. So, events are picking back up. The music is doing well, man. All is well. And we got a call yesterday about a huge tour this fall. We can't say what it is, but it's going to be amazing. So yeah, man, all is well. No complaints, man. God is good, man.
Yes, sir. Congrats on all that. I mean, it doesn't take a rock scientist, to sit back and see what God's doing with Aaron. And I know that you have a big part in that as well, which is helping make some of those connections and just support for him in general. I'm sure he's super appreciative of that. And it's just cool getting to see an individual like yourself where you're kind of, you're moving behind the scenes a little bit, but man, the impact you have in a space like Christian hip hop is undeniable, especially when you talk about people or talk with people, who really know what's happening. So, I know last time we really focused in on the manager side of stuff and the music, but you have, really kind of jumped feet first into another area since then, and that is book writing and book publishing, right? Talk a little bit about that. How did you get into, just the world of books and writing?
Cool, man. Yeah, so I've actually on the ground, been in it for over 15 years. And it started with my first book. I wrote a book about Shark Tank, the TV show Shark Tank. So yeah, so what happened was when they introduced the TV show Shark Tank, I fell in love with the show, bro. I mean, recording every episode, taking notes from the show, and one of my friends found out I had notes. And I asked to borrow them, and when they gave them back, they said, "Yo, this will make actually a great book, and you should also think about interviewing the sharks. And I was like, man, I didn't think about that. That's a great idea. So I actually emailed all of the sharks on Shark Tank, and Barbara Cochran was the only one that hit me back and agreed to give me an interview. Me and Barbara hit it off so well. I said, Barbara, will you help me get an interview with Damon? And she said, of course. She put me and Damon in a group text, and she said, Damon, give this guy an interview. He's a great guy. And Damon immediately responded, connected me with his assistant, and we did an interview. So I took both of those interviews along with my notes for the show and created a book called Conversations with Sharks. And that became my first #1 bestseller on Amazon. It was a bestseller for a week. It stayed up at #1 for a week. And after that, of course, so many people came to me and asked me how I did it. And that was the birth of my publishing company. So, yeah.
All right. And let's talk about that publishing company. What's the name of it? And just kind of give what's happening there.
For sure. So the name of my company is called Publishing Advantage Group. And man, we've published everything from a 16-year-old girl who was born blind to retired NFL, NBA players, doctors, apostles, bishops, and pastors, and everybody in between. We honestly feel like everybody has a story, and we can help in many ways. So a lot of our clients, some of them come to us who, don't even know where to start in writing a book. And then you have others who's already written it and just want the publishing side. But we are a complete one-stop shop. So we'll ghostwrite your book, interview you, and write it in your voice, then publish it and then market it. Or we will also just do the publishing and marketing part. But yeah, we take care of you from start to finish, man. It's a complete process and a complete system.
That's amazing, man. And I know that, following you on Twitter, I've seen just the posts that you put out, and you can tell that you are passionate about writing, right? And like you say, you encourage, everyone to find that book in them. I mean, what do you say to the people who say, man, I don't know. I don't know that I've got a book in me. Like, how do you come back with someone who's hesitant?
Yeah, I don't believe that. I believe that we all have a story. We all have a testimony. And we all have something that will help somebody else. The one thing that I've come to realize is all of the things that I went through in my life were just simply to help and minister to somebody else. And a lot of times what hold people up or why they don't think they have anything is because it's something that has came so easy to them, if that makes sense. So someone who, let's give an example. So someone who's been a parent, right? And they've raised successful kids who went to college and became doctors, lawyers, or just went to college, just raising a kid and getting them through college. That's a book. A new mom, a new father needs to learn how they did that and glean from that insight. So I don't care what it is, what successfully you have done, or just living life, or someone who's been married, 30, 40 years. That's a book. I'm saying? How do you make a marriage last 30, 40 years? So yeah, I say, man, just dig deep and think about what it is that you have done and what are your expertise, and what's your gift, thinking about that. Even the word says like your gift will make room for you. And a lot of times people don't believe that because they don't activate and use their gift. But one way to put in activation is to put it into a book, man. So that's what I would say to them.
Yes, sir. And so if I'm someone that I've got an idea for a book, or I think I've got an idea for a book anyway, but I have no idea what those first steps look like, what would your advice be?
Yeah, man. So I could tell a person how to write a book in a weekend. So we got, what's today? Today is Wednesday or Thursday? Today's Wednesday, right? So say for instance, someone got an idea for a book. And I could tell them how to get it done this weekend. So the first step would be, and I call this my grocery store method. If you are a smart grocery store shopper, before you go to the grocery store, you make a list, correct? You make a list of the things you need, right? So that's the same way with a book. You're going to make a list. You're going to simply make a list of the things you want to cover in the book. And essentially, that's your outline. So you're going to create an outline first. It's just a list. That's all I want you to do. That's what you're going to do on day one. You're going to make a list, and then here's the second part of day one, okay? Under each thing on the list, you're going to write out, let's just say 5 questions that someone would have about that thing on the list. Okay. We're going to call those things chapter titles. So each chapter title, you're going to write 5 questions that someone would have about that chapter title. Okay. That's Friday. That's all you need to do on Friday. Make your list of chapters and then write a list of 5 questions under each chapter title. All right. That's all I want you to do on Friday. Saturday, what I want you to do is contact a friend and tell them we're going grocery shopping. Okay. And what you're going to do is have a friend interview you and ask you those questions that's under each chapter title. That's all you're going to do on Saturday. Have a friend interview you, record it. You can use Zoom or freeconferencing.com or whatever platform you want to use to record it. All right. Once you have the recording, what you want to do on Sunday is you want to upload that recording to a place called rev.com. That's rev.com. And in 24 hours, they're going to send you a document, a Word document, and it's going to be the transcription of your book. And bam, your book is done. So all you need to do is tighten up that document, make sure things are in order, and then that's when you contact the company like me, and we'll take you from there as far as the editing, the formatting, book cover, ISBN, distribution, and all of that. But that's simple. That's how you create a book in a weekend.
Wow. I mean, you make it sound so simple, and I mean, if we step back and look at it, it really kind of is. I mean, whenever you use that method, right? I don't think I've ever heard writing a book described in a way that just seems feasible. Like it's that easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you kind of come up with this method?
just years of getting that question. That is the number one question that I get as a publisher, like how to start. And so I thought about it, like, man, how can I simplify this and make it easy for people to get this done? And I thought about how I did it, and that's exactly how I did it, and exactly how I do it all the time. Now, you know, it doesn't take me long at all. I can write a book in a day. I don't even take me a weekend. I can get it done in one day. You know what I'm saying? Now, say if it's a person who wants to take their time, you could break it up into 20 days. All you got to do is write a minimum of 500 words or talk for at least an hour a day for 20 days, and you'll have about a 10,000 word book done. That's all you got to do. And going back to my grocery store method, when you go to the grocery store, when you get home, you don't cook the food in the order that you put it into the buggy, right? So writing a book is the same way. You look at that list and you decide what you feel like writing or talking about that day, and that's what you write about. And then once you do that every day, after 20 days, the book comes together. So you don't have to write it in order. And a lot of times that's what happens. We look at our outline and we feel like, man, I got to tell this story in order, but you may not feel like talking about that thing, the first thing on the list. You might feel like talking about something that's more recent, and then that's how I say you get it done. But yeah, it just happened developing it over the years.
Yeah, I mean, I think, just me personally, there's been, I've had this desire to want to write a book, right? And I've sat down and I've tried writing books a couple of different times throughout the past handful of years. And it's like, I'll get the first little bit down, and then it's just like, man, I don't know what it is. I can't move forward with it. So, some people have this, want to talk about writer's block, right? I don't know if I would call it writer's block, but I think some people would. What's your view on just writer's block? Because obviously that's a hurdle that writers, whether it's, a musician or an author, kind of have to deal with at some point.
Yeah, so that comes from, like you said, looking at this huge mountain and then feeling like you have to write this long story in order, and you don't. So let's just say you have a writer's block or you're feeling like you can't move past. I always say just get up, walk around, take a walk, go outside, get some fresh air, and then come back, look at your outline, and look at what you feel like writing or talking about that particular day. And that will cure your writer's block. What hurts a lot of people, they feel like they have to do it in order or they're doing something wrong. You're not. You just don't feel like writing about the next thing that's on the list, but just choose what you want to write about and you'll be good to go.
All right. Awesome. So with Publishing Advantage Group, is there like a particular type of book that you guys feel you are better equipped to handle, or like a certain literary genre, or are you guys pretty well versed across the board?
Correct. Yeah. So we do all kinds of books. The only thing we don't do is anything, of course, that goes against our faith and something we can't, testify in church that we did. So nothing that, glorifies anything demonic or things like that. But yeah, we've done autobiographies, we've done biographies, we've done self-help, we've done children's books, we've done novels. So my team, we can pretty much work on any type of book or any style book.
And like to this point, like roughly, just kind of an estimate, like how many books has your company been able to help, get out there to readers to this point?
Man, I'll say about 500 or more. That's just off the top of my head. Me personally, I've done over 50 plus. I've lost count. And a lot of mine, they're under pen names, so you'll never find them. You don't find about 7 with my name on it. The rest of them are under pen name.
So whenever someone's looking at Publishing Advantage Group as a potential option for their manuscript, what they're getting is, a company that has the experience and has the proof to show that, hey, we can actually help get you to where you're wanting to go, right? So if someone reaches out and they're just kind of inquiring about the group, what's that initial experience going to be like as far as just contacting and seeing if you and that author are a fit?
Yeah, so the first step would be, going to the website, of course, familiarizing yourself with that. Like you said, we need to update. We got so much more. We publish so many authors every month. But you can go in there and look at some of the covers. You can click on them, see some of the authors we published. You can check out the testimonials and things like that. And then we have a page with our packages on it. And then you can just kind of view the package, see which one you may be interested in. And then it has a button that says, hey, click here to apply to work with us. So in that, it's an application, and then you get to schedule a call to talk to me. And then I'll just see if we're a good fit. And once we're a good fit, we discuss what the investment is based on your needs, and we go from there.
Awesome.
That's the process.
Yes, sir. And guys, again, on the phone line with me right now, it is Mr. Kelly Cole. So when I'm looking at the site, you guys also offer a free masterclass. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of times, people don't even know where to start, and they just want some free information to give them a kickstart. So we have this free masterclass. You can check that out at bestsellerscircle.com. But it'll basically walk you through how to get started and how to, write your book on your own. And then at the end of the masterclass, same thing. It'll push you back to, hey, if you're interested in taking it a step further, you can schedule a call with me, the publisher, to discuss us actually publishing your book. But yeah, it's a masterclass, man, I'll put together to help people get started.
Awesome. And talk about the feeling or the experience of maybe what you had, or the experience that you've been able to be a part of with authors whenever it comes to getting that first book out there. I think there's a bit of maybe anxiety or nervousness that comes along with that, but man, it's got to be amazing.
Yeah, so, the first time, I'll speak for me, the first time, I wasn't really nervous. I was excited. But to hold it in my hand was an out-of-body experience, because it was like you're actually giving birth to something that was inside of you. And speaking from, experiencing that with one of my clients, I'll go with the young lady I published. She was 16 years old. She was born blind, and she just wanted to become a best-selling author on Amazon. That was her dream. That was her goal. And her mom reached out to me and said, hey, can you help? Can you tell her what to do? So I told her exactly how to speak the book into the computer, the whole nine. We did the whole process for her. And I remember when I handed her first copy, and she handed it to her mom, and she said, "Mom, what does it look like?" And her mom began to describe to her what the cover and stuff looked like. And when the tears just started rolling down her face, I knew this is one of the things I was put on earth to do, to help people's dreams come true of becoming a best-selling author. And it was just the most amazing feeling. And it happened over and over and over again. When a person holds their book in their hand for the first time, it's like they're holding their baby. They actually birthed this thing out of them. So, man, it's an amazing, amazing feeling to wake up every day and help people's dreams come true. So,
obviously, the literary world and the music world, those cross over quite a bit, right? We've seen tons of artists that end up writing books. I mean, even within Christian hip hop, right? I mean, Lecrae's got book, a bunch of different guys. What about for like a space like Christian hip hop? How can really embracing the world of literature help a specific culture or sphere like we have here with CHH?
Yeah, so how could a book help advance that?
Yeah. Well, I think that's one thing that for CHH is like, being known and just getting out there more, to attract listeners and an audience, right? And maybe we're not using all the tools that we should be.
For sure. Yeah, I say, people like myself, telling their stories. So I actually got saved at a Christian hip hop concert. So I never knew anything about, actually Christian hip hop until these two guys, they were a group named Ricky Being Forgiven. They came to my area, a small town in Bristol, Virginia, and at one of the biggest churches. And there was only 10 people inside this church. And I was one of the 10. So it was like a 2,000 seat church. Only 10 people showed up for the event. And I was one of the 10, and I got saved. So I think stories like that need to be told, even in book form, even if it was a way to, back in the day, people used to hand out tracts, those gospel tracts. I think this would be a 21st century, track if you gave out, a copy of your book telling your story of, how Christian hip hop maybe changed your life and your perspective on it. So I think that'd be a great thing for people to use as a tool to give away to, introduce people to the gospel.
Yeah. And I think one thing as well that is kind of missing from this space is just people understanding its history, right? And what better way to preserve that than through a book? Yeah, man, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. So, man, you threw out some names there with Ricky Being Forgiven, man. Like, I actually saw
Ricky Being Forgiven?
Man, I saw them at Cornerstone Music Festival, like in 2002, maybe, like right around there, 2001, 2002. And I bet if I went digging through some boxes, I bet I still got a Ricky Being Forgiven CD, man. It's
I got them all, bro.
That's nostalgia right there.
Those are my brothers, man. To this day, those still my brothers. Forgiven text me today.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Literally, those are my brothers, man. They led me to Christ, and we've remained friends all of these years, man, and built an amazing relationship. But yeah, I love Ricky B. Forgiven. Ricky B. is actually a movie director, so he writes and directs film.
Oh wow, that's super cool. Yeah, I had no idea what they were up to, but man, you said those names though, and it brought it back. So
yeah, that's when it was gospel rap. You know what I'm saying? They literally rapped the gospel, and hearing them rapping and getting their CD, that was my first time searching the scriptures. Like, they would literally rap a verse and say a scripture. I would pause the CD and pull out my Bible and go look at the scriptures that they just said. So yeah, man, that was getting back to those days, man. It'd be awesome.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, and another thing I know that you have said is, you have a goal of all of your kids writing a book, right?
Yeah.
Like talk about that goal just for a minute, man. And why is that a goal that you set, and how do you see it playing out?
Definitely. So yeah, they're definitely going to do it. Aaron's going to probably take the longest, because his story is isn't finished yet. You know what I'm saying? And between me and you, he's written a couple of children's books that we haven't put out yet. And if we do put them out, they'll be under a pen name. But yeah, he writes all the time. Of course, you know, he's an artist. And then my oldest daughter, she's already has one book out. It's called So You're Living for Christ in High School. It's available everywhere on Amazon and everything. And then my baby girl, so far, she has a journal that's already out called The World Needs More Love Journal, prayer journal. So yeah, it's going to happen. My oldest daughter, she's working on her second book right now.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and I know when Aaron's book comes out, because his journey through Christian hip hop is pretty unique, man. But not only that, I know he's got a lot to say. You know, like it was pretty cool just getting to DM back and forth with him after the album came out, and being able to do a little write up on it for the site, and you can just tell the way that he, even through just, you know, a direct message, right? The way that he thinks, and not only that, the stories that he does have, you know, to share. Yeah, man. Like maybe we need like installments of it, man. Maybe we can encourage him to just start dropping, you know, like a series or something.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. I mean, we should do that together. We're thinking about it. And I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I'm actually eventually. Well, here's the goal. So whenever Aaron wins a Grammy, whenever that is, you know, if it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm actually going to create a Aaron Cole museum in, you know, his hometown here in Bristol. And I literally have everything. So most people, if you don't know, Aaron released his first album at the age of 4. So I have every costume from 4 years old all the way, he's 22 now. Every album cover costume. I got every footage. I recorded every show he's done. I've recorded every studio session. I've recorded our first meeting with Toby Mac. I got everything, literally. And artifacts from the music videos, like everything. Yeah, man. So I want to tell that story and inspire kids in a small town that they can do some amazing things, man, if they put God first and never give up on their dreams. So eventually it's going to be an Aaron Cole museum.
Man, that's crazy. And it's crazy to just sit back and think, man, Aaron's still just 22. You know, like he's just getting started, and look at what he's done, man.
Yeah,
you know,
just getting started.
Yeah. So, okay, you go back in the Christian hip hop world, man. Like, let me ask you, if you were able to get a book from anyone within the space, like who would you want to see a book from?
Definitely The Truth, man. The Truth was my favorite artist in that genre, in that time. And also, I'll say Ricky Being Forgiven too, because I would love to know what their heart was, what their goal was, what, you know, some of the things that they went through that, you know, of course you don't know unless you're behind the scenes. So I'll pick those two, Ricky Being Forgiven, and then also The Truth. I would love to get a book from The Truth, which we've talked about it a couple of times. Like the last time I was in his presence a few months ago, where were we? I think we were in Richmond, Virginia. I talked to him. I was like, yo, you know, it's time to do that book. He said, it is, bro. We're going to talk about it. Let's make it happen. But so yeah, Ricky Being Forgiven and then The Truth. I would love to get a book from him.
Yeah, that would be amazing, man. And you know, I think it's something that just the space needs right now. You know, I mean, it's been, you know, it has its ups and downs, you know, but just with some of the different things that have gone on, I think really hearing from, you know, some of the, you know, the OGs that kind of paved the way to get us where we are. I think the more that we could hear from them, the better, you know, honestly. So all right. So what's on the horizon, man? What's coming whenever we're talking about publishing Advantage Group? You guys have anything that you're working on or that you're excited about, you know, over the next year or so?
Yeah, man, God is amazing. So we created this new division at Publishing Advantage Group called Books for Athletes, right? So we're focusing, you know, we're putting a huge push behind former professional college athletes and sports coaches. And we're actually going to be a vendor for the Super Bowl, man. So we're really, 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 really excited. about that. So we'll be in LA for the Super Bowl. We have a vendor spot at a former NFL players event, man, sanctioned by the NFL. So we're really excited about that, bro, and expanding and helping a lot of those guys tell their stories to launch their speaking careers and transition from, you know, the field to life after the game. So yeah, that's something we're really excited about, bro.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I know, you know, most people that listen, I think, know that I work, you know, for a high school, you know, for my day job. It would be super cool to see you guys get involved with like, you know, like a FCA, you know, Fellowship of Christian Athletes as well. That'd be cool and a cool crossover, I think. So obviously you're going to be trying to tell athletes stories. Like, how did that opportunity initially present itself to you?
Man, I'm glad this is a faith-based show because they're going to get what I just said. What I'm getting ready to say, because I literally, at the beginning of 2021, I just felt God was calling me to reach a group of people and serve a group of people because I just felt this uneasiness. I kept telling my partner, I was like, yo, I feel like God's telling me to reach a group of people. And he was like, yo, he'll tell you. And so one day I just sat still and I was like, Lord, just tell me where to drop my net. Like, just tell me where to drop my net. Tell me who you want me to serve. And he spoke clearly to my spirit, former professional athlete. And that was the birth of Books for Athletes.
Cool. So is there, I mean, I don't know what you can share, so I don't want to pry too deep. I mean, is there like any names that you can like share with us at this point that, you know, we may get some stories from through Publishing Advantage Group?
For sure, yeah. Yeah, so we have Tyler Campbell. He is the son of NFL Hall of Famer Earl Campbell. And Earl Campbell, he wrote the foreword. So that one will be out. I believe that comes out February before. We also just signed up. He was a 1989 draft pick. His name was Sheldon Jones. His book is coming out in the next couple of months as well. He was actually in the 89 dunk contest too. I think he competed against Jordan and Dominique. Who else we got off the top of my head? But yeah, we got a bunch, man. If you go to Books, the number 4 athlete on Instagram, you can see a bunch of our authors that's coming out and the ones we've signed up. If you ever seen the movie Hoop Dreams, so we got William Gates, one of the stars from Hoop Dreams. He's coming out. We got Jermaine Jones. He was a draft pick for, I think he got drafted by Philadelphia 76ers. He's actually in the Hall of Fame now. He scored the final bucket of 2000, the year 2000. So he's in the Hall of Fame because of that. But yeah, man, it's a bunch on there. I don't want to miss nobody, but it's a bunch on there, man. So we've been crushing it with the athletes.
Yeah, man. You mentioned the Instagram for Books for Athletes. You said it was Books and then the number 4 athletes, right?
Yeah.
So what about just across the board, like whether it's you, the publishing group, where do people need to tap in with you guys?
For sure. So yeah, so if you're not a former athlete or college athlete, just go to publishingadvantagegroup.com. And if you're an athlete, former athlete, or you know one, just tell them to go to booksforathletes.com. And the website is spelled out, FOR, so booksforathletes.com. And then on social media, it's the same. And then my personal, if you want to connect with me personal, all my social media and my website is at Mr. Kelly Cole. So it's the same.
Perfect. Guys, make sure you go and you follow Kelly. He's one of the best guys that we've got a chance to interact with here at FiveTwenty Collective. Super excited for what is going on in his world. So what about for you, sir? When do we get another book from you?
Man, so my next book, preferably it'll be out next year. That's the goal. But it's called From Walmart Associate to Christ-Made Millionaire. So I'm working on it now. So whenever I finish it, I want to finish it by my birthday next January. And then it'll be out, man. That's going to be my next book.
Perfect. You know, I don't know if you got a suggestion box or not, but I will drop a little suggestion in there. Maybe we get Kelly Cole's manager tips or how to be a successful manager in Christian hip hop, because I know that is something that, I think we talked about it the last time you were on the show. A lot of people, there's always these questions, right? Like, as an artist, when do I need a manager? And then you got some people that are, maybe they're told, hey, I think you would be a good manager. And they're like, I don't have a clue what that entails really. So I don't know if that's for me. I think, that getting some advice from someone that's been successful with it like you have, man, would be fantastic. Just my 2 cents throwing out there.
Right. But believe it or not, I do have some, because as you know, like, my inbox is lit up from people who, like you said, want that advice. And what I did was I created a course. So I do have a course that's, it's not like online anymore right now because the old server went down, but it is still available. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So not only do you get me and how I actually built Aaron's career from 4 years old to signing with Toby Mac at 17, and how to do your own tour and everything that I did, I put it in the course. The course is called Access Granted. So what I did was I gave indie artists access to my circle in the industry. So I interviewed the president of Goatee Records, the guy Joey Elwood that started Goatee Records with Toby Mac. I sat down with him for an hour. He literally talked about what labels look for when finding an artist. What should indie artists be focusing on? All right, that's one. I sat down with our booking agent, and he talked about how an indie artist can build their touring, how they can get a booking agent. I sat down with managers. I sat down with the manager. He was formerly the manager of Grits, okay? But he built Grits' career, got them all the way, from Goatee all the way to signing with Def Jam Records. And he currently manages Johnny Swim. But I sat down with him and what, artists need to be doing to attract a successful manager. I sat down with tour managers. I sat down with merch managers. I sat down with the president of RCA Records. Like, I know I'm forgetting some people, but I literally gave indie artists access to my circle, and I took all of the questions from my inbox and I asked those questions to those professionals. If you're interested in that, just shoot me a DM at Mr. Kelly Cole, and then I'll send you a link to pay for it, and then you can just download the course. And the course is only $97, and you get all of that.
Yes, sir. So, guys, artists that are listening, I know you're out there. Go take advantage of that. So, you don't get that every day, that kind of access. So take advantage of it for sure. Man, Kelly, I know that I want to be respectful of your time here, and again, just more than grateful that you hop back on the podcast with us. I do want to just throw it out there and ask, man, because I know that you keep your fingers on the pulse of what's happening as we are hopefully or prayerfully, we'll say, maybe kind of coming out of this pandemic a little bit. I don't know. It's crazy. It's up in the air, but at least people are trying to kind of go back to, having like live shows and that stuff. What do you see for those of us in the faith-based hip hop world, man? Like what do you see coming, man? What's the next little bit look like for us, and what do artists need to be kind of doing to prepare for that? Yeah.
So you mean for the artist or for the consumer, for the actual listeners?
I mean, if you want to break it up, maybe we get a taste for both.
Okay, so of course, for the consumer, I mean, get excited. I mean, I just saw 116 just announced they're doing the Unashamed tour again. I just told you Aaron just got a call. He's going to be doing a huge tour this fall. I just saw Stephen Malcolm coming out. So there's a lot of artists that's getting back on the road and doing more live events. Now, if you're an artist looking to tour, my suggestion would be to see if you can't get on any of these tours, which is kind of hard if you don't have the relationships. Two things I would say. Number one, create content and constantly, be making your music, but then put together your own tour. And it's not as hard as you think. Put together your own tour so you get the reps and you get the exposure, and you actually, can have maybe the opportunity to get in front of somebody who could put you on tour. And don't be afraid to invest in paying to open for a tour. So if a tour ever announces that they will allow an opener to pay to open, if I was an artist, I would definitely pay whatever the amount is to open for a bigger artist, just for the exposure and just for the rep. And if you want to put together your own tour, the easiest way to do that is make a list of people you know. Okay? Make a list of the people you know who actually, go to church or actually have leadership positions at churches. So say for instance, my cousin is a pastor in Chicago. I have another cousin who's a youth leader in Florida. I have another cousin who's a youth leader in Chattanooga. I have another cousin who's a youth leader in Atlanta. A cousin who's a pastor in Texas. Like, I just listed off at least 6 places I can create a tour around. Just call them and say, hey, I'm putting together my first tour. I would love to come and perform for your youth. I'll come for free. Just give me a love offering and maybe a place to stay, and just set up your own tour. And we did that for years. Found out, when Aaron signed with Toby, he said he watched us. He watched our work ethic. He watched us do shows. He watched us promote what we were doing. And he said, man, I just respect the grind and how much work y'all put in. He called us to come meet him at one of his shows. So you never know who's watching. So consistent content, and then put your own tours together if you're an indie artist, because you can do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, maybe get your story out there and write a book as well, right?
For sure. Definitely. Definitely a book will help. Yeah. Definitely write your story and put a book out. If nothing else, it's another piece that you can put on your merch table, and you'll get more sales from the book than you would probably a CD, because then the parents will buy the book and then they maybe get the CD or the T-shirt for the youth or whatever. But you'll sell books.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Kelly, man, I'm excited for you and for Aaron as well, but for what you got going on and what you're doing and encouraging and helping people, man. It's inspiring for real. So, again, grateful you're able to join us again. Looking forward to the next time that we're able to connect, man, and just catch up.
For sure, man. Anytime. I'll come back anytime, bro.
Awesome. Guys, again, make sure you go and check him out. Like I said, Mr. Kelly Cole on social media. Go to publishingadvantagegroup.com if you want to check out what they got going on there, or maybe you got a book idea and explore that. Look into it. Now's a great time to do that. But thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the FiveTwenty Collective Podcast. Again, we want to shout out our episode sponsors, including the Bookkeeper 24/7. Check them out at tbk247.com. And we will catch you guys on our next episode.